Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, glory, honor, and power that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Recha HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who I learned this truth from, and salutations unto you, brothers, stiffly pushing this one truth in all sincerity and diligence, and shalom to the rest of the one-third remnant, men, women, and children of the nation of Israel. All right, as well as the speckled bird, Israelites who may look like the heathen, as we await this second Exodus by the hands of Yahweh Shah that's coming quickly. This is your brother Rechagabar, all right? And as you can see by the title of this lesson, what I want to go into, Salaki, is the origin of Christianity, all right? The origin of Christianity, all right? And how you had Constantine the Great, a.k.a. Constantine the First, who was a Jake, all right, a Roman emperor. He essentially was responsible for merging Christian beliefs with paganism. All right. He was responsible for merging Christian beliefs with paganism. OK, essentially to appease the people. All right. That Rome was ruling over. And so when you actually go into this emperor here, Constantine the Great. All right. This was a Jake. And he was the first Catholic emperor. Now, when you go into the word Catholic. All right. The word Catholic actually means literally universal. All right. The word Catholic literally means universal. All right. So let's click on that real quick. The etymology. Or so like I'm gonna go to let's go to the etymology of the word Catholic real quick. Okay. Because it literally means universally accepted or universal. So when you get into this emperor here, Emperor Constantine the Great, all right, he was the first Catholic emperor, and so what he was responsible for was making the Christian beliefs. All right, I'm gonna say it like that. All right, when I say Christian beliefs, I'm referring to those who follow the ways of Yahweh Shah and his disciples. Okay, because the scriptures tell you, Acts 11:26, the disciples were first called Christians at Antioch. All right, so those who follow the ways of the disciples were also known as Christians, and so what this guy was responsible for was merging Christian beliefs with paganism, essentially to appease the people. And when he did this, all right, what happened was you had it pretty much ended the persecution that our people were going through. Okay, because as you understand, the history. All right, you had those Roman emperors. Okay, those Edomites. All right, who were persecuting our people. All right, for our beliefs. Okay, because we didn't adopt Roman paganism. We didn't adopt, the worship of the pagans during that time. And so we were being persecuted. All right. And, the most notable demon, all right, Edomite you read about was Nero. OK, if that's how you say his name. All right. Emperor Nero. All right. Who was an Edomite. He was responsible for, a lot of persecution to our people, man. He crucified our people. OK, he had us ripped apart by dogs. All right. He had us pretty much, he turned us into living torches. All right. At night, he would light us on fire and we would be literally human torches, man. And, that devil Nero, he was responsible for a lot of that persecution. And this is before you had Jake begin to rise into power amongst the Roman ranks. All right. Because I believe the first Roman emperor was Septimius Severus. Okay, or he was amongst the first. All right, he might not have been the first, but that's when Jake began to rise. All right, and become Roman generals and emperors during that time. Okay, so that was pretty much when the Edomites, pretty much was getting taken out of that rulership. Okay, but yeah, man. So we're focusing on pretty much after that persecution period. You had Constantine the First, Constantine the Great, who he introduced what they call the 7 ecumenical councils. All right, there were 7 ecumenical councils wherein he had 300 bishops from all around the Roman Empire pretty much come together, and they spoke on the religious things and all the things that were going on at that time. And the point of these councils was to pretty much make the Christian beliefs accepted amongst the pagans, all right, and to merge the two. So when you go into Salakia, when you go into the word ecumenical, okay, it goes into the Greek word oikomene, all right, which the Greek word oikomene means universal, all right, or whole world. See, so these 7 ecumenical councils were designed, all right, to essentially integrate the Christian beliefs with the pagan beliefs and to make this a universal doctrine, right? And this was first done in 325 AD, all right, starting with the Council of Nicaea, all right, which we're going to touch on that one. So yeah, this article here reads the 7 ecumenical councils, and it says the Greek word oikomene means the whole world and is the origin of the English word ecumenical. The 7 ecumenical councils under discussion were assemblies consisting of bishops from all around the world. Their decisions at these councils on doctrine, cults, and discipline were considered binding on all Christians. All right, says let's learn some more about the 7 ecumenical councils. So out of these 7 ecumenical councils, there were different edicts passed. Let's just pull that up. There were different edicts passed and things that pretty much, I believe the Edict of Milan, that allow for religious tolerance. Okay, and it ended up making Christianity the main religion of the Romans. All right, and like I said, this is all under the Emperor Constantine the Great, aka Constantine the First. So when you go into the Edict of Milan, real quick, it says the Edict of Milan proclamation that permanently established religious toleration for Christianity within the Roman Empire, right? Because like we went over briefly before this time, the Christians, all right, which were really, the Jews, the Israelites who were following Yahweh Shah were being persecuted. All right, it says it was the outcome of a political agreement concluded in modern Milan between the Roman emperors Constantine I and Licinius in February 313 AD. Okay. So yeah, that was one of, the different edicts that were passed during this time. So when we go back to these 7 ecumenical councils, the first one was called the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. And I want to jump over to this different article, all right, and to go into this. All right, so when you go into the Council of Nicaea, all right, they essentially established a creed, okay? So that, it would have been a statement of faith. It says the Nicene Creed is a profession or statement of faith adopted by Christian leaders at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. This took place under the leadership of Emperor Constantine. The Nicene Creed is accepted by the Catholic Church, Orthodox Church, Anglican Church, and many Protestant church groups. The English translation reads, okay? So now it's going to give you the translation of what that creed says in English, okay? Which I'm not going to read all of it, okay? It's, pretty long. I want to jump down to this point. All right, within this creed, it says how, give me one moment. Okay, in this creed, it says, and we believe in one holy Catholic and apostolic church. All right, so this is amongst the creed that Emperor Constantine and these 300 bishops from around the Roman Empire, all right, they came together, okay, and this was the creed that they said. It says, and we believe in one holy Catholic and apostolic church. So the word Catholic, as we went over, literally goes into universal, right? The word ecumenical goes into oikomene, which means the whole world. So as you see, what these councils were designed to do was to make the Christian beliefs, all right, merge them with the pagan beliefs in order to make this a universal, worldwide doctrine. See, it says, and we believe in one holy, Catholic, or in other words, universal and apostolic church. And so apostolic, going into the apostles. So, at this time, all right, there was not necessarily as far to my knowledge, there was not necessarily an actual Roman Catholic Church. Okay, that came later, I believe, under Pope Gregory the First. That was, around the year 500 or so AD. That's when the church in Rome ended up changing to the Roman Catholic Church, right? But as you see, Constantine I, he was the first Catholic emperor because the word Catholic simply means universal, and he was the emperor responsible, all right, for creating this universal religion to wherein everyone that was, during that time, okay, because the Romans was the top world power, controlled majority of the known world, all right. The people who were living, in those different Roman provinces, all right, they had their different pagan beliefs, right? Worshiping the sun, worshiping the moon, and, all these different things. And so he was essentially able to merge them and create Christianity, okay, which it later had different sects and denominations and all those things. And this is when you get into the December 25th, right? Christmas, okay, which they like to say is quote unquote Jesus Christ's birthday, right? You get into the worship of Mother Mary, okay? You get into he changed the Sabbath to Sunday, all right, to appease the sun worship, right? Numerous different things were done, right? They blanking on it. What I say, Easter, right? Easter Sunday goes back to the worship of the goddess Ishtar, right? So they were merging these pagan gods with the beliefs of the Christians, okay, to appease everybody, all right? And this is, solidified his position as emperor of Rome, all right? So yeah, that creed says, and we believe in one holy Catholic and apostolic church, so one universal church, all right? So this was 325 AD when this creed was established. And this was just the first of 7 worldwide, if you will, councils. Okay, whole world councils. All right, which I'm not going to grab all of them. I wanted to grab that one mainly. Okay, but you can research and look into these, all right? Okay, so going back, Salaki. So when you go to this article here, all right, entitled learnreligions.com, all right, it goes into the origin of the Roman Catholic Church, and I'm gonna skip down, all right, because they these devils like to lie and say how Peter, the Apostle Peter, was the head of the Catholic Church, like he was the first leader of the Catholic Church, okay, just because Yahushua said unto Peter that he will build his church upon that rock. All right, which they're completely taking that out of context. All right, that didn't, the Apostle Peter wasn't a Catholic, because the word Catholic goes into universal, and the Apostle Peter was not a believer of a universal doctrine. But anyways, it says, according to the Moody Handbook of Theology, the official beginning of the Roman Catholic Church occurred in 590 CE with Pope Gregory I. This time marked the consolidated of lands controlled by authority of the Pope, and thus the church's power into what would later be known as the Papal States, right? So like I said, even though Constantine I was technically the first Catholic emperor, because he believed in this universal doctrine and pushed this and made Christianity the religion of, Rome at that time, there was no actual Catholic church, to my knowledge, that was established at that point, all right? It came a little later, all right, about 200 years later. And real quick, all right, I also post this video in the description box, entitled "The Real History of the Roman Catholic Church," all right, which I didn't watch all of it, but the point is in the first 10 minutes. Okay, it pretty much goes into the what I went into as far as the persecutions that was happening to our people, okay, for not accepting Roman paganism, all right, and worshiping those false gods. And eventually leading up until Constantine I, wherein he was the one responsible for merging pagan gods and things with Christian beliefs. All right. And that's where Christianity comes from. So I might play a little bit of it, but I don't want to get a strike. So I'll post it in the description box. All right. But yeah, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and go back. So I'm going to grab this other point here. All right. And when you go into the word Vatican, okay, because the Roman Catholic Church is founded in Vatican City, right? The word Vatican literally means a soothsayer or a prophet, right? A soothsayer or a prophet, okay? So the Roman Catholic Church, all right, what it's responsible for is essentially, allowing for and telling everyone that, look, everyone can be saved. Everyone can have the remission of sins. And they, pretty much, very craftily incorporated pagan worship into our beliefs, all right, the true commandments and laws and things of the scriptures. And they created all these different denominations of Christianity. They created the Pope, right, being the father, because Pope means father. And Yahweh Shah said, don't call another man father, right, in that spiritual sense, because the Pope has, power and jurisdiction, all right, over these people. Okay. Yeah, man, many different pagan things were brought about after these different councils done under Emperor Constantine I. All right, you see this cross here, which essentially, all right, the story goes that he had a vision, when he was trying to expand his empire, he had a vision that he saw a cross in that vision, and he had his army put a cross on their shields, and they ended up winning, and then he became the sole emperor of Rome. All right. And that cross actually goes back into the worship of Tammuz. See, so these are all pagan, pagan ideologies, man. And yeah, so yeah, I have, several articles. I didn't really want to read from all of these. Okay, I just wanted to be straight to the point, but I'll post them in the description box, just covering that history. Let's see if I wanted to grab anything out of this. Let's read this little point real quick. It says Constantine, who was fighting for control of the Western Empire, all right, had a vision that he would win an important battle if he fought under the sign of the cross, okay, because he ruled the Eastern Empire, which is where you get the term Constantinople. But after this battle he fought, he gained control of the Eastern and Western and became that sole ruler. And when he became ruler, he pushed Christianity on the people, and it pretty much ended persecution, right? To a degree, it ended persecution and allowed for religious tolerance by merging paganism with Christian beliefs, creating Christianity and all these different sects. Okay, but it said he quickly had artisans mark his soldiers' shields with crosses and sent them into battle. When they won, Constantine became a strong supporter of Christianity. Constantine emerged from the civil war as the new emperor. In 313 AD, he proclaimed that every person was free to follow the religion which he chooses. Under Constantine, Christianity rapidly became the dominant religion. All right. And so that's pretty much the point, man. And I'll read this little point here, and then we're going to go ahead and close out. It says, in 395, Emperor Theodosius made Christianity Rome's new state religion. Christians who had so long been on the defensive turned to attacking the pagan religion. They closed temples and banned sacrifices to pagan gods, and they even transformed some pagan celebrations into Christian ones, right? This is where that merger comes in. It says, for example, the church changed the birthday of the sun god on the 25th of December into the celebration of the birth of Christ. All right, and this was just one of many of the polytheistic ideologies that they brought into this newfound religion known as Christianity. Right, so this is a complete man-made religion wherein they merged pagan worship with our heritage. All right, and it started with these different councils under Emperor Constantine the Great. Okay. And so that's pretty much the point, man. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to grab from that. All right. Oh, real quick point too. All right, because just like we went over that, the word ecumenical goes into the Greek word oikomene, which means whole world. All right. So when you go to John 3:16, and it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life." Well, when you go into the word world here, it goes in the cosmos. All right. meaning an order, a government, or a harmonious arrangement. So this world here is not the world oikoumene. Okay, so it doesn't apply to the whole world. Okay, the whole world being included in the belief that they can receive salvation and the Messiah came to the whole world. That didn't come about until Emperor Constantine the first, right? So we pretty much just went over that, right? So that was, just a quick point, man. The world used in John 3:16, that Greek word is cosmos, all right, not oikoumene. Okay, so it doesn't apply to the whole world. All right, the world Yahweh sent Yahweh Shah to was what? The world of Israel, which we'll grab that and we'll close out. All right. All right, Isaiah 45 and 17. All right. It says, but Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. So that's that world spoken of in John 3:16. It's the world of Israel. Okay. Hebrews 1:1 tells you that Yahweh Shah created the worlds, plural worlds, right? So during this time of the Roman paganism, right? You technically have the world of pagans. You have the world of the Christians, man. All right, the Jews, the Israelites. See? And so, that's who Yahweh Shah was sent for. He tells you that in Matthew chapter 10 and Matthew chapter 15, that he was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So when this emperor came into power, all right, when he rose up to power, he was responsible for making this an all-inclusive worldwide, all-inclusive worldwide religion or doctrine. See? But anyways, yeah, man, with that, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh, Shalom, DTA, Baba Ball.